It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. It is your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso, on SABC3. Now, after postponing their press conference several times last week, the cast of Generation finally broke their silence and voiced their own truth to the media and the public in Johannesburg yesterday. Now, we're joined this morning on the line by Jessica Levitt, who's the editor of The Juice, to give us her insight. She was at the press conference yesterday. Jessica, good morning, and thank you very much for taking our call.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about what went down at the press conference yesterday. Who were some of the actors? Were there some of the actors that actually were present and spoke out? And was there any kind of clarification about what their concerns were?
Dramatic scenes coming out of the press conference yesterday. Indeed, all 16 actors who were fired were there, and they wanted a chance to give their side of the story. They've never spoken, and they broke their silence. It started off with Patrick Shy saying, you know, that he's not a child, that he hasn't been paid, that he needs respect. Sophie Ndaba, who plays Queen on the soapie, who's been on the soapie for 21 years, was also spoke out, saying that she's a woman, that there's no minor in this situation. Harsh words spoken towards the SABC. And then, of course, Menzing Gubani, who we know has kidney failure, very emotional scenes from him. He has been on a transplant list for a long time. And there was a lot of, there was a lot of talk previous to this about Mfundi Vundla, who is the creator, who had helped someone, with medical aid bills. And Menzi admitted that it was indeed him who had received these medical aid funds from Mfundi. And he ended up leaving the stage crying because he spoke out about how he had been in hospital for weeks and weeks and went back to work just a few days after leaving hospital, and currently still receiving dialysis 4 times a day. So it really gave us an emotional insight into what's going on with these actors.
Yeah. I also understand that one of our most respected actors, Mr. John Kani, was also there at the press conference. Is there any indication as to what role he plays in this whole saga?
Well, that's exactly it. The actors actually called on John Carney to spearhead a union that they want to start. I mean, look, the basic premise is that they're saying this isn't just about them and Generations and the SABC. This is for the industry as a whole. And they want to formalize a union, and they asked John Carney to head this up.
Okay, hopefully that'll help solve many of the issues that might come up in the future. But in terms of the fees, that has always been a point of speculation because some newspapers were saying 16,000 an episode a week. Was there any clarification as to how much these actors are actually earning per month?
You know what, and that was the million-dollar question, was that there have been so many numbers bandied about in the newspapers and in the media in general. And all of the actors made a point of saying that it was not true, that the 55,000 Rand figure that they say is an average for those 16 actors is inaccurate. And they actually made fun of it. They made light of it. They said, so let's just say it is 55,000. And you minus this because we're freelancers, and you minus this because we don't have medical aid. And someone who has been on the soapie for 21 years, like Sophie Ndaba, will end up clearing something like 15K. So it was really a joke, all made fun of, all saying that it's not true.
So what's the plan then from here on out? Is there going to be any negotiation going on between the actors, SABC, and the production company?
Well, I mean, this is the million-dollar question. We know that Minister of Arts and Culture, Nathi Mthethwa, stepped in. He said that they were now willing to go back to the drawing board, SABC, as well as the actors and the production company. But you know what? This was before yesterday's press conference, and some pretty harsh words were spoken. So it'll be interesting to see whether or not that does actually happen. As far as the actors are concerned, they've said they've been told that they are unemployed and that they're going to go into the negotiations as unemployed staff, which they don't agree with. I mean, as far as they're concerned, they aren't fired. They weren't told they were going to be fired. They were under the impression that negotiations were still continuing when they suddenly received this blow that, oh, by the way, you're fired. So they feel pretty betrayed in that sense. But they are having a meeting today where obviously negotiations will continue, and hopefully we'll get some kind of resolution out of this never-ending saga.
All right, Jessica, thank you very much for taking our call. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
That is Jessica Levitt, the editor of Juice magazine, bringing us the latest insights from what was, of course, a press conference held by the actors of Generations yesterday in Johannesburg. Of course, we'll try and keep you updated as much as possible where that's concerned. But right now, let's take a look at what's happening on the radio waves with our girl, Shareshni Ryder, as she brings us the 5FM Top 40.